Welcome back to the Mid-Year Mitch YouTube channel. Today's episode is a little bit of a day in the week of Mid-Year Mitch, getting ready for Corvettes at Carlisle. We had a shipment of Roadster shop chassis that came. I had to get my display ready for Corvettes at Carlisle. I had to make a couple stands for that. We rearranged the garage, and then we got the sacrificial split here, which is one of the next projects coming up on the channel, so be sure to stick around. So now it's the week of Corvettes at Carlisle, and I have some preparations to do. One, to bring my display to Carlisle, but two, 3 Roadster shop chassis are showing up all stacked up. We have to unstack them, so we need this area right here to do so. So I need to put all these parts and tools away, clean this area up, and we're gonna scoot this car over here. So I need to move all this stuff around too. Then we'll have a clear bay to lift up the chassis and unstack them one at a time. We'll put one of them back here. One of them's gonna get a split window body. One's gonna get a 65 Roadster body, and then one is heading back out. So we'll only keep 2 of them here. So we have a lot of straightening up to do, and I also have to make a couple display stands for Carlisle that we'll get to after this. So we got the garage all cleaned up, organized, and we made room for 2 more Roadster shop chassis. The third one is going home. And then I moved the 67 over here and stacked some parts in it. This is only temporary. This chassis is the one that's going to be used for the sacrificial split project, which you saw a few weeks ago. So that one's going to get tucked in the back, and that'll be the next project that comes up on deck. And then this is the chassis that I ordered that I'm going to put that 65 Roadster on. I have a couple doors, and this is going to be our display for Carlisle. So part of that display is, well, it'd be nice to put some, I don't know, paperwork here. I could just laminate a piece of paper and throw it on the chassis. That's one way to do it, but this is a pretty, classy chassis. I looked online, and there were some cool stands that people made. So I'm going to make one. I have over here, I have some conduit, just real cheap stuff. I have a little piece of steel, and I'm just going to weld that on there. I did some bad Chad bending and just smacked this thing off of a block on the floor. And I'm going to cut it off probably about here at an angle. And then we have some diamond plate over here. And I have some clipboards right here that we'll sacrifice. All I wanted was the clampy thing. And I'm just going to take 2 of these clamps, drill these out, drill them into the diamond plate, and then we can put some paper on the diamond plate. So when you walk up to the chassis, this guy will be held up about here at an angle, and you can see the prices of the chassis, the options, the ride height, and then I'll make a board. I'll probably have one on this tire and one on the back tire, and I'll have one talking about the Mid-Year Mitch YouTube channel and the future plans for this car. So it'll be a 2-fold display for myself and for the Roadster shop. So we'll be helping each other out on this, which will be cool. So these shouldn't take all that long to make. I do want to make them break down so I can keep them somewhere. So I bought a little bit bigger diameter tubing. We'll cut that off in probably, I don't know, 2-3 inch segments. We'll cut out 4 of those, and then we can sleeve it onto the bottom and put a bolt through. I have another piece of steel. We can make a little plate for the top that'll bolt or rivet the diamond plate into that, and we'll just shoot a little bit of black paint on it and we'll call it done. So the next part of our Carlisle planning is to take this truck and trailer and load the split window onto it, because we need to put this on one of our chassis. So I have a come along, we have some skates, floor jack, and we're gonna do a lot of screwing around and hopefully get this thing on that trailer. So we got the split window loaded up here on the back. We used the come along to winch her up, and she's all strapped down. We also grabbed the front end for this car, some new old stock parts to take to Carlisle, 63 hood, and a couple of doors for the 65 Roadster. So now we got to drop all this stuff off, get the 65 birdcage. So next phase of our Carlisle prep is we need to get this powder coated green convertible bird cage out of here. One, it's nested with a bunch of other bird cages. We also have to get the misfit hood out behind that 66 Vet. But to do all that, we need to move Lucy, the 55 Chevy, out of the way. But we're having carburetor issues. Like I said, it was flooding out of the vent, and it also just wasn't running great the last time we tried to get her going. So we're gonna go ahead, pull that carburetor off, and I got a rebuilt unit here off of Jegs. So we're gonna do hopefully a fairly quick R&R and see if she'll fire up and see if it's, well, better. So we just got the new, to us, carburetor installed, and it took a little while to get, it felt like to get this bled and to get fuel up to here, but now it works good. We got her tuned up. So now it's been sitting for about an hour. Let's go ahead and make sure it starts up. All right, let's see how we do for a cold start here. She's a little flooded, I think. All right. So I dropped the trailer off here at the shop. We went bobtailing and got some wheels from a buddy. And I also picked up the 65 bird cage, some other fiberglass that I'm going to be bringing to Carlisle. So now it's time to, well, unload all of this stuff, get the wheels on that chassis, pull this trailer out of the way, get this chassis out here, put this body in, and then get the doors on the bird cage on the chassis and on the trailer. So a lot of shuffling, but I think we got it. So it took a little bit of jockeying around, but I got the chassis moved over under our shed over here. We got the split window off of the trailer, which took a little bit of jockeying, but it wasn't too bad. I used the come along just to kind of pull it over halfway till it started to teeter, and I could just kind of push it off and get it off with the floor jack and skates and stuff. So that worked out well. Wasn't too bad to do myself. Here are the doors for the 65 Roadster that I have to slap on still. And we have our new shoes on the Roadster, and I set the bird cage on and bolted her down. So it's pretty solid. This cage is in a little worse shape than I thought. The rockers they're pretty hammered in through here. They're pretty pitted. So they're definitely gonna need new rockers. This is just for demo purposes. We'll throw doors on it and show it to people, and this is just, you know, kind of a work in progress, what they look like whenever I start out with them. So I think it'll be a cool display. It'd even be cool to leave it like this. I don't know, I'll throw a door on, see what it looks like. But I think a door would make it a little more recognizable to people that don't exactly know what this is. So we'll try to mock them up. This is my first time attempting to put the door on with the hinges on, so we'll see how that goes. That might be a little bit of a battle, but we'll give that a go. And then I'll get some strikers on here, hopefully get these doors hung and latched, and then we can get this dude up on the trailer. I have the 65 display chassis here all set up. We have our wheels shined up, tires shined up, cage is bolted down. We have doors on it, and they latch. Vent windows fit up pretty good, still need some adjustment. Got our, of course, Mid-Year Mitch stickers on it, and I had to pull it up next to my dad's 65 because one day this will look like this. We'll just take a little bit of time and some fiberglass. But now that we got all this done, it's time to load this dude up on the trailer. So I got to pull the ramps out, scoot this over here. So I have my little stands finished up here. We have our clips on them to hold our paperwork down, a couple rivets to hold it together, a couple bolts, and they should be just fine once they're under the tire of the car. So I'm pretty happy with those. Still have a couple little things to pack up here, but we got the chassis up here, rolled it up myself. It really wasn't that hard once you get a little bit of momentum on it. And then I just have some stuff in the back. Still need to go to the house and grab a couple wheels and some odds and ends, and then all of the merchandise and tent and a bunch of stuff. But I think I'm pretty happy with that. I may put a ratchet strap across these doors to make sure they don't blow open, since they're kind of going backwards down the highway, but I think it should be okay. So now it's time to get loaded up and head out to Carlisle. But that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you come out to Corvettes at Carlisle if you can. Support myself, the Roadster shop, and all the other vendors that are there. It's always a good time. It's this weekend, so make sure you can come out if you can. We have some new merchandise, some new t-shirts and stuff. So I'm at spot K62, so come by and check out the Roadster shop chassis, this bird cage, and what we got going on at Carlisle. So I got a lot of work to do, and I'll catch you guys later.